to another video. So for those of you who do not know who I am, really quick, my name is Jaylin. I am a senior 2 nursing student. I'll be graduating this May 2021. I'm so excited. And yeah, this is my channel. So as a few of you know, I recently had an interview that went very, very well. A few of you guys have been asking for my interview tips. So a lot of the tips I'm going to be giving you are things that I learned throughout the many interviews that I've had, because you guys remember this is not my first degree, and just things that I've gathered from either teachers, people that work in the hospitals, and other mentors along the way. So I just wanted to compile all of the tips that I have and that I used for my interview recently into one video for you guys. So if that sounds interesting, then just keep watching. So the first tip I want to give you guys is something that everyone is going to say, and it is to prepare. Obviously, you're going to be nervous, so I feel like the best way to alleviate some of those nerves is to prepare. You know, it's just like when you're going in for a test. If you feel prepared, you're a little bit more confident. You need to prepare not only your answers to their questions, but also questions for them. So how did I prepare to answer their questions? I did quick Google searches, YouTube searches on just common nursing interview questions or common new grad nursing questions. There are tons of websites, tons of blogs, and tons of YouTube videos on those types of questions that you will probably be asked. Another thing you can do is go on Indeed or Glassdoor and look at your employer's reviews and see if anyone posted the questions that they were asked in their interview. Once you get an idea of the types of questions that they're going to be asking you, prepare those answers. By researching those questions ahead of time, it gives you time to really formulate a better answer. And sorry, I'm getting an email. By researching those questions ahead of time, it gives you a chance to actually formulate your answer instead of having to think of one on the spot. Because some of these questions are actually very tricky. Like, you know, name a time that you've dealt with a difficult patient. You've been through tons and tons of clinical experiences by now, and if you work as a tech or anywhere else, that's a lot of experience that you have to pull from to answer these questions on the spot. So by practicing these questions ahead of time, it just kind of gives you a chance to get all of those experiences and memories and answers to the forefront of your brain, so that way when you're in front of them and they hit you with a question, you're not digging as far down and you're ready to go. The question that they're going to ask you a lot is, why this hospital? So for that question, you really want to go ahead and just research the hospital, you guys. Actually, I know so many people say that, and I remember when I first heard that, I was like, why? But you guys, really, really research the hospital. When I did it, I looked at their mission statement, their values, the little welcome video that they had in their intro, any of the new research that they're doing at that time. I went even like their news section just to see like what headlines they had in the past week or so. So many random things, but make sure you focus in on that those values. So yeah, I looked up as much as I can about that hospital, and honestly guys, the first question they asked me was, what do you know about us? So I was able to name all those awards that they recently won, you know, how many hospitals, beds that they have in the hospital, things like that. But most importantly, I was able to tell them their values and why they resonated with me. And you also want to make sure you are preparing questions for them. This interview needs to feel like a conversation for them as well, because this is very important, because just like they're getting to know you, you are getting to know them. And I know that sounds very corny, and I've heard my teacher say that and I just repeated it, but it is true. There were a lot of gaps in my interview that were filled mostly by me asking questions and keeping that conversation going. And so you want to have those prepared. You don't want to have to think of it on the spot, because again, that's way too hard to do. And the second tip that I have is to practice. So once you have all the answers for your questions, and once you have all their questions for them, you need to practice these things, guys. What I did is I said them to myself, either in my head or out loud, when I'm driving in the car, when I'm just like making breakfast, when I'm doing random things. But I think what helped me the most is I made myself sit down like I'm doing right now and record it for a camera. You can do this two ways. You can do like I did and record it in front of a camera, or you can get a friend, a family member, and just have them ask you the questions and then you talk to them. The reason why I say to do this with someone or like recording yourself is because it kind of puts a sense of pressure on you. I always do that thing where we're like practicing arguments in the mirror, and it always comes out way better than it does in like real life. That is why I say to record it or have someone actually be in the room with you, because by adding that extra, like someone's watching you, kind of makes it feel more real. And so when you are in the interview, it's a little less nerve-wracking because you've been under that type of pressure before. Number 3 is to dress like you already have the job. Obviously, guys, dress professional for your interviews. I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. I did want to add this in here be aware that some hospitals are doing a interview / shadow experience. So for those interviews, some hospitals want you to wear scrubs to the interview. I did not know that. I was very much prepared to go and get an interview outfit that was like all nice and professional. But where I went, they actually required me to wear scrubs. And these are the scrubs that I wore. I felt like this was a professional color. But yes, but only guys, only wear scrubs to your interview if they tell you to. If they don't tell you what to wear to your interview, you need to show up there professionally dressed. Do not come in scrubs. Show up there looking like the CEO of the company. Like, you want to be professional if they don't say so. But I just want to let you guys know that some of them do that. So if they do, make sure you get a nice professional looking color set of scrubs. Okay, so tip number 4 is actually something that was new to me and specific to nursing. So you need to create a remember me book or whatever it's called. So when you go to your interview, you want to make sure you have extra copies of your resume, your cover letter, and any letters of recommendation that you have. Even though you've probably already sent them your resume and your cover letter, you want to make sure that you have extra copies in case someone who didn't receive it is there, or in case they didn't print it out. That actually happened to me. They didn't have it printed out when I got there, but I was able to provide it to them, or things like that. There's anything. You never know what you might need it for. But what I did, and what I think is a very cute idea, because I had a resume, a cover letter, and 2 letters of recommendation, I didn't want to just hand them all these pieces of paper. So I just put them in this like little report cover things, and they look just like this. Obviously, I didn't want to go in carrying these loose. I needed something to carry them in. This is an optional step. This is not necessary. I am not telling you guys to go out and get these things. But I got a portfolio to carry mine in. And the only reason I got this portfolio, 1, is because it's cute to match my outfit. But 2, I needed something where I can carry my little books and have my interview questions written down in front of me. And that's just what made me feel comfortable, and it looked professional for me. Again, you do not have to go buy a portfolio or cover letters or anything. You really can just go in there with, your briefcase, your purse, or whatever, and your resumes, and we'll be fine as long as they're not like crinkled up and in your pocket or something. But like, you will be fine regardless. I just wanted to make sure that all my stuff was neat in one spot and clean, so I got a portfolio. And when they were like, "Hi, I'll be right with you, let me just print your resume," all I had to do was go, "Oh, I have it right here for you." This is just a bonus tip. It has no number because I'm literally just throwing this in. But be nice to everyone. Like, I know that should be self-explanatory, but really, guys, be nice to everyone. When you get into that interview and you get into that hospital, you're going to see a lot of different people, whether they're patients, the front desk, security, administration. Like, you're going to see a lot of people before you see that charge nurse or the unit director that is going to be interviewing you. So you want to make sure that you're speaking and smiling to everyone that you pass. Obviously, don't be creepy and be like, "Hey, hey, hey, hey," but like, actually, like, if it's appropriate, make sure you're greeting everyone that you're talking to. So if you're walking up to the administration, before you say, "I'm here for an interview," say, "Hey, how are you doing? My name is Jalen. I'm here to speak with whoever." Make sure you acknowledge them as a person first. And because everyone in this hospital is watching you. Yes, you're interviewing with the unit director or whoever you're interviewing with, but everyone can, once you leave, they all can say something about you because they already work there. So if you were rude to a sanitation guy or the lady in like the behind the desk of security, when they can go and tell that unit director, like, "Hey, I know you interviewed Jalen, but she was to me," So, and that can cost you your job. It's not just to get the job. These are going to be people that you're going to be working with. So you want to make sure that you're already coming in with a positive attitude to set yourself up to do well at this job. So smile as much as possible. Even if you're wearing a mask, smile because they can tell. Now, my 5th tip is something that I feel like I throw in every video, and that is to work on your mindset. So for the week leading up to my interview, I tell you, I was in such a positive vibe bubble that I was refusing to let anyone, opinions, or, bring me down, anything. So it's scary. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it was terrifying. I was putting off applying for these jobs because I knew that once I applied, there was a chance that they were gonna call and then I would have an interview, and I was terrified to have an interview. So trust me, y'all, I know it is scary. A couple of things that I did to bring myself back down is to remember that there is a job out there that is already yours, okay? It has already been decided in your path that you will get the job that is meant for you. So all you have to do is go pick it up, you know? So when you go into an interview, if you go in thinking like that, it kind of takes the pressure off of it, because if it's for you, and you're going to get it regardless. And if you don't get it, that just means it's not for you, and you're going to go find the one that is for you. So that's what I had to tell myself to make it less high stakes. Now, yes, I know that you might really want this job, but what I say to that is, if you really want it, you got it, babe. It's already yours. Another thing I was telling myself is that this is just a conversation. These people that are interviewing me are just people who also had to go through an interview to get their job. So they know what we're going through, and they know that we're just coming out of school, we're freaked out. They know all of that. They've been there before. They're literally just trying to make sure that you can hold the conversation and that you really want this job. So if you go in there prepared to just have a conversation instead of prepared to be interrogated, then you'll be fine. That's also why it's important to have your own questions prepared. Once you start asking questions, it kind of initiates a conversation, and it brings the tone of the interview from interrogation to convo. Those are the two things that I kept reminding myself about when I was preparing for the interview. But other than that, I just prayed, I meditated, I listened to my hertz tones, I did whatever I had to do to get myself in the mindset of, I got this. And that's what you guys have to do. I did not let myself slip into the spiral of what's gonna happen if I don't do well. I just kind of kept everything high vibe. I tried to envision myself in the room, in that interview, crushing it. I tried to make myself feel the feelings of how I would feel. That's a lot of feels. I made myself feel as if I already got the job so that I can help manifest that. Just things like that, guys. So whether you want to go work out before, get out that nervous energy, call a family member, call a friend, do whatever it is that puts you in a positive mindset and I got this mindset. So yes, guys, those are all the tips that I have for you. So let's just take a deep breath. And remember that you guys have gotten this. You've gotten the interview. Your foot is already in the door, and that job is yours, baby. And so thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope these tips helped. If you have any other tips or any other comments you want to say, drop them in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.